Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a quick video on liquid eyeliner. Uh, Liquid liner, I find so many people have like a love-hate relationship with liquid liner because you really do need to practice at it. It's not easy, and it can look really great or it can look really not so great. So I'm going to show you the two products that I have that I use to apply liquid liner, and then I'm actually going to show you a little hack that you may or may not have heard of before, but I do it all the time when I'm doing my liquid liner, and I find that it just helps with creating like a really nice crisp line or wing, and it also helps with things kind of going a little bit faster. So the thing with liquid liner is that it really depends on your eye shape as to how you are applying the liquid liner, the type of wing that you're going to use, and I would recommend Googling different wing looks, because you can do wings that are really high. You can do wings that are more kind of in line with your eye, that just kind of extend out. They can be thick, they can be thin. So it really depends on the look that you're trying to create. Generally, for the most part, I do like to do like a thin to thick application. There are looks that are being done where the line along the lid is really thick all the way across, which is a beautiful look too. It's just a little bit more dramatic. So I'm gonna show you how I do my winged eyeliner, and then you can kind of adapt it to the way that your eye shape is and to the look that you prefer. The other thing too is if you have more of a hooded eyelid, which means that you lose some of your eyelid when you open your eye. So this generally tends to happen as we get older. Some women experience more of a hooded eyelid where they have a little bit more skin on the tops of their lid. So they'll do their eyeshadow and then they'll open their eye and you can't see any of it. And that's just because your eyelid is actually is being covered by a little bit of that excess skin, but it's a very, very common lid. So the thing is, with a winged eyeliner, if you have a hooded eyelid, then you want to be creating an eyeliner that's a little bit further out of your eye, because if you do it more up, then when you open your eye, your winged eyeliner is going to look like chopped in half. Whereas if you have like a really big lid, or if you have really small eyes, but you have a fairly like smooth lid, you can get away with doing your wing just a little bit higher if you wanted to, without having any of that choppiness, and you'll be able to see the whole wing. So, you know, winged eyeliner is so beautiful, but you definitely do have to practice at it. So the two products that I have used are a gel liquid liner and a pen liquid liner. So the gel that I have is called Black Track. It's a fluid line by MAC, and it's nice because, it's like almost gone, but it's great because I'm going to use a brush to apply it. So I really am able to have a lot of control when I'm putting it on. Now, unlike most people, when they apply, like I know lots of makeup artists and stuff apply liquid liner with an angle brush. I have this brush from Inglot Cosmetics. I got it a long time ago. I'm sure they still have it though. I'm sure you can buy it anywhere. But it's really flat and rounded. And I find when I apply the gel to this brush, I really get a nice clean line, and there's no choppiness to it at all, and I can get a really nice crisp angle to my wing as well. I've just had really great success with this. So that's what I use as opposed to an angle brush. You may have to use or try a couple different brushes just to see what works best for you and what you're most comfortable with. The other product that I use is a pen. So this is the Arbonne liquid liner. So it's like a tub with the pen tool that looks like this. You can see that it comes to a bit of a point, which is always great because it really does help to get the shape of that wing, allows you to get like a really nice crisp edge with it, and then you can just kind of draw it on to the rest of your eye. So again, you may have to kind of experiment with what works best. Sometimes what I do even is I'll take my gel from Arbonne and I'll use my brush and I'll just put a little bit on my brush like that, and then I'll go with my brush and I'll use my brush. So it kind of depends on what I feel like doing, or what I feel like using. There's no like right or wrong product to use, but there's lots of different products out there, so you can kind of see what works best for you. Now, I couldn't find my Scotch tape, so I have a double-ended tape, but for the most part, it's just really getting the idea of using tape. So I'm using just a really small piece of tape, and I'm going to apply it to the corner of my eye, so just a little bit under. And the great thing about this trick too is that I can really see that my angles are going to be the same on both sides, or as similar as possible on both sides. You can adjust the tape to create more or less of an angle. You can fix it. And for the most part, I kind of like to line it up with like how far my brows go. So I'll just look at the angle of my brows and I kind of just create the angle based off of the arch of my brows. But really, like I said, like you can kind of do it however you want, and it does feel very funny. But for the purpose of it, we're gonna take it off so you don't have to worry about it being on there for a long time. Okay, so I'm using my brush. I've just dipped my brush into my black track. So the first thing I like to do is the first part of my wing. So the part that is gonna be touching the eye, if that makes any sense. I'm gonna try and come as close as possible. And the nice thing about the tape too is you can also really gauge the length of the wing as well. So you can make sure that both sides are as equal as possible. I mean, the thing is, at the end of the day, sometimes it's not going to be perfect. Most times it's not going to be perfect, so I wouldn't worry about it as long as one isn't like up like this and the other one is like down, because the wing also really does affect the shape of the eye as well. So, you know, if you have one eye that's a little bit bigger than the other, then you can adjust the wing accordingly so that it can kind of even everything out, which is nice too. So now that I have the bottoms and I'm okay with the placement, I'm going to take my brush from the corner of that wing and just create like a triangle. And then I'm kind of looking down at my mirror so that I can see what I'm doing. And I'm creating a fuller line at the outside of my eye. And as I work my way in, it's gonna get smaller. So with my brush, I'm gonna use the side of my brush and I'm just holding, so this is what I look like when I'm doing it, because I'm doing my left eye with my right hand, so it's a little bit awkward, but you will kind of be able to adjust your body accordingly with whatever fits right for you. And just with the corner of my brush looking down into my mirror, I'm just doing almost like a stippling or connecting effect. I'm not going in and worrying about creating a really nice straight line. I just want to apply the product really thinly into the inside of my eye, and I find I have the most control when I do it step by step. Okay, so you can see that the black is all the way along my lid. Now, if you wanted to go thicker with the line, you definitely could. I don't tend to go too thick. The other thing too is most times I'm wearing some sort of eyeshadow. So today I just have a little bit of like a peachy eyeshadow on. Nothing crazy, like I literally used my finger to apply. I think it's like a highlighter that I used. So I still want to be able to see that. I don't want my liner to be like the thickest, most predominant thing on my lid. So that's why I like to do more of that gradual thin to thick line. Ooh. All right, so I'm just gonna go in again. On this side. And the one thing I really like about the tape is that I really do end up getting quite a crisp edge to my wing. Which you really want. You want to try and avoid any like rounded edge. And you also want to try and get the color as close to your lash line as possible. So the nice thing about kind of mastering a winged liner is that you can really do a winged liner with any color. So if you wanted to kind of mix things up a little bit and do a winged eyeliner with like a blue color or a plum color, you could do that and add a pop of color to your look without having it be like over the top. And colored liner is really fun. And I find that it kind of doesn't matter how old you are. If you can master a really good winged eyeliner, then you can have color in your look and still have it look mature, if that makes any sense. You can do liners and you can add sparkle to them. Urban Decay has some amazing liquid sparkle liners that are so easy to apply. You can do it on its own, or you can apply it like over top of whatever color you have, black, blue, purple, green, whatever color you want. And it's a great way to kind of intensify your look or amp up your look without applying like lots of eyeshadow. So once you've applied it, you can kind of just go in and darken any areas that aren't as black as you want, or just clean up any lines. If you wanted to go over top of this with a little bit of powder, you could do that as well. The other great thing about the tape too is if you don't like to use liquid, but you like to have liner on the top of your eye, you can do that with a pencil. I've talked a lot about the Urban Decay pencils. The Urban Decay liner pencils are great. The 24/7 Glide On pencils are great because the consistency of the color is so intense. You can apply it and use a brush just to really blend everything out, and still have like a nice crisp line. And then once it dries, it's not going anywhere. So it almost looks like a liquid liner, which is really great. And again, like with the variety of colors, you can really do anything, which is awesome. So now that I'm comfortable with the way that my liner looks, I'm gonna take the tape off. And you don't want to use too much tape because it does feel a little funny coming off, and it does tug under your eyes just a little bit. So just to minimize a bunch of the tugging, don't use too much tape. So you can see that like the edge of my line is, or my wing is pretty bang on. A really nice point that it comes to. If I'm noticing anything, it's that this one is a little bit thicker down under my eye than this one, which is a fairly easy fix. So that's the other thing too, is you just wanna kind of create a little bit more symmetry between the two eyes if possible. Really, it's not the end of the world, and most people won't notice if they're off a little bit. So I wouldn't fuss about it. I know it's so funny. You see those memes where you're like, okay, I'm gonna do liner, and you apply the liner, and then you do this one, this one's thicker, so then you try to do this one, and then this one ends up being thicker, and then you just have like these two big blobs on your eyes. So, I mean, yes, like I said, winged liner is very challenging, or it can be very challenging, but it doesn't have to be. Practice makes perfect, and really, I feel like finding the best tools for application for you is gonna be key. Some people are comfortable with brushes, some people are comfortable with the pens, like the dip pen. There are also companies out there that have an actual like pen. So I can't find mine right now, but that actually, like, this is my brow pen, but it looks like this. So it's literally like a pen, so it's really easy to apply. The Urban Decay one is awesome. Stila has a really popular one too, and there's tons of other companies. I know Kat Von D has some really great ones too that don't come off. The other thing too is you really want to make sure that everything dries before you like, I don't want to say before you start blinking, but because you want to minimize the transfer of product onto the lid. So if you don't or haven't, you should really use a primer, an eyeshadow primer, before you apply your winged eyeliner, because that will really help to minimize any migration. If you find that your liner tends to sit up in the crease of your eye, doing an eye primer will really help minimize that. So just some tips and tricks for applying a winged eyeliner. Like I said, practice makes perfect. So, you know, when you have a couple minutes, you know, if you're going out and wanting to do your winged eyeliner, definitely practice. Be a little bit daring, maybe try a different color, brown, blue, violet, and then you can go ahead and put your mascara on and you're good to go. The last thing that you can do to kind of just amp up the winged eyeliner look is apply a pencil underneath the waterline underneath here, which is kind of creepy for some people, but I like to do it because I find that it really does help to create the illusion of a thicker lash. So you can see it makes a little bit of a difference. So if you're comfortable enough to kind of apply the pencil to the waterline under your top lashes, then I would say give that a try and see how you like it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you were able to kind of take something away from this video. Please subscribe to my channel and comment or let me know if you have any requests for any videos. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.